Oh, hello. My name is Carrie Dater, and today I will be talking about LARPing. That was my big surprise. And I'm a nerd. Yes, I get it. But it's so much fun, and I enjoy it ever so much. So, I'm gonna talk about it, give my impressions on it, and you can come to your own judgment about it. But I'll tell you this, watching videos on it on YouTube and on the internet really doesn't do it justice, because before I went my first time, I watched that infamous video on it and I was like, what the hell are these people doing in the middle of the woods? But my brother is an experienced LARPer. He's been going for like 10 years and he's been bugging me. And I was like, alright, fine. And plus my stepbrother was going for the first time. So I decided to go with them. Now, we went to this place called Underworld in Canada. And it's actually near Lindsay in Ontario. And apart from that, it's in nowhere, no man's land. It's on some guy's property, but the owner buys it out. But it's a huge property. It's in like the middle of the woods, so it's pretty freaking big, and it holds about 150 to 200 people. So there you go. But anyway, so I decided to go, and I checked out the rule book, and there's these different races, and you have to wear these certain class features to represent your race. So if I was a dwarf, I would be wearing a beard, and that goes for women too. And actually there was a woman there with a beard, and she was pretty nice, so don't hate on dwarves. But anyway, I went as a wild elf, and I had to wear these elf ears and these tribal tattoos, and that pretty much represented, me as a wild elf. And my class is an assassin, so I go around sneakily deekly, whatever the hell that means. But I go around stealthy and, and I good at criticals, and I try to take people out silently. So that's my specialty. There's lots of others. There's like a fighter, there's a druid, there's a mage. There's many other classes. So once I picked my character or my class, I had to come up with a name and a true name. Now, a true name is pretty much a name for your character that no one else can know except for yourself, because if someone knows your true name, then you're pretty much screwed, because they're gonna do all these black magic artsy stuff on you, and your character is pretty much a slave to the arts. So yeah, don't give away your true name, but you come up with your regular name that you refer to yourself with, and you also come up with a character history that represents your... Oh, my phone's ringing. But it represents your character's past and what he or she's been through, or it. And it pretty much represents you as a whole, and defines your personality. So you go in, and the town's Jericho. This is the central town that you're going to be in Underworld. So you go in. I can't catch a break. My phone's ringing all over the place. But focus. No ADD-ness. But anyway, so you go into this town, and they have this overall quest where Jericho has a beacon, and you pretty much have to protect it. That's, I would say, the overall arc. There is little tidbits here and there, but I'm not going to go into it. So this beacon's in the central town, and monsters are going to come, and you pretty much have to protect it. Now, when I first got there, this was a weekend event, by the way, so I got there on I got there on Friday and left on Sunday. So when I got there Friday, I was a little bit nervous. It was like a whole new territory for me. I've never done anything like this before. And we were pretty early, so not a lot of people were in game. But everyone was nice. Everyone that we walked past waved and said hello and was smiling. And it was a very friendly environment. And that got me really motivated to communicate to people and to act in character. So I did my makeup. My brother did actually my face makeup, and I put on the ears and wore this outfit. I wore a leather vest, and I have these two swords because I have an ability that lets me carry two swords at once to dual wield. So I have a short sword and a long sword, which is pretty badass. So we got into character, all three of us, and it was nighttime, and we were by the campfire, and everyone is there by now. There's a load of people there. Everyone's in character. Everyone's sitting around the campfire. Everyone's, talking, and sometimes there's this guy who does a fire dance, and sometimes people would tell stories or play music because they're a bard and that's their specialty. So, but apart from that, it was a little slow on Friday because you would have these monsters attack every now and then. So while I'm talking about monsters in battle, I'll dive deeper in it so you have a better understanding of how battle works. You have these monsters and you have yourself with your weapons. Now every time, depending on your weapon, every time you hit, you have to call out your damage. So if I hit and I say 2 normal, which is my weapon damage, then I have to say it out loud so the enemy, whatever I'm facing, knows how much damage to subtract from his health or from his armor. And this can get a little confusing, especially when magic's involved and someone casts something on you. But what I've learned is that you can always ask what it is, especially if you're going there for the first time. You can always ask someone. So whenever you want to ask a question or whenever you want to go out of game, you put your hand on your head, which means that you're out of game, and you can ask the question. So at any time, at any point, if you get hurt at all, you just put your hand on your head, and that means you're out of game. So you determine all this stuff, your health, your armor, your weapons, pre-game, before at home when you're checking the rule book. The rule book is free online on their website, and you do all this stuff before. And so on Friday we got into battles. There was like waves of enemy. I felt like I was playing a tower defense game because it was just like, all right, wolves are coming, let's attack. And then it was ended, and then an hour later it's like, all right, more wolves are coming, attack. And an hour later, and yeah, so on and so forth. So Friday I thought it was kind of meh, the whole experience, but I did like the environment. Now it was really dark and I couldn't really explore because the game started at nighttime. So from what I could tell, I liked the environment, but everyone was in the same place and I couldn't really get the depth of the environment and my surroundings. So on Saturday when I woke up, and plus I had to fall asleep with my ears on. I didn't have to, but I want to because I'm lazy like that. But they stuck, so I'm happy. My makeup came off though, and I should have reapplied it, but I didn't. But moving on Saturday, there was a lot more going on. There's like a marketplace, there's an archery tournament, and now everyone has their different groups. There's like a town center, and then there's like different clans all around it. Like there's a Wild Elves clan that I'm thinking of joining next time I go. And then there's these like different houses. There's different clans and different houses around the town center. Like the House of I, where, they're not directly a part of the town, but they will come to assist whenever the town needs help, which is when protecting the beacon or whatnot. So like by that time it was really cool just to explore and see the different clans and, you know, their views on different races. Now there is, what I find really interesting and really cool is that there is, you know, discrimination and racism towards different races. So for example, my brother is an orc, but he's a vegetarian orc. So hello. Anyway, but he's a vegetarian orc, so people don't really like him because people, when they see orcs, they see them as these savages or as these killers, and but my brother, who's a vegetarian orc, is, you know, friendly and nice. He's a bit of a loner, but he keeps to himself, and he, you know, he does what has to be done, and he's really, I would say he's really loving for an orc, I guess. So, you know, he told me afterwards, after the game, that he kept getting asked for a citizenship, because if you're not a humanoid, then you're not officially a part of the city. You're not a citizen. So he has to earn it by, you know, paying a fee. And so people kept asking him for his citizenship, and, you know, he kept, because he had a partial one. He had one for a week or two, and then he has to get it fully again. He has to pay for it fully. But he had one, and he kept, you know, showing it, even though people, like half the people can't read, because you need a skill to read and write. But, you know, so there's different types of racism, and obviously it's all in game. Like out of game, everyone's friendly. Only in game, where, you know, you're in a whole different world, a whole different universe, obviously there's going to be like some hatred towards one another. But it never goes too far, even if it is in game. There are comments here and there, but apart from that, well, unless you really hate them and you want to kill them. But it doesn't go farther than that, I promise. So, you know, there's different dynamics between the groups and the towns, and that is what really piques my interest. And the fighting too, it's really outgoing, and, you know, when you're battling alongside a party and your teammates, and you look like left and right and like this whole battlefield, you feel empowerment. You feel like you're a part of something, and you feel like a team, like you'll watch each other's backs, and it just feels so great inside. Something that you don't really feel when you're living your natural life, and it's just really empowering. Yeah. So on Saturday, things got really cool, because I talked about the overall arc of how you have to protect the beacon, but there's these smaller kind of plot lines called mods, and mods can just be for you or your friends or a small amount of people, and they're like storylines made up just for you. So on Saturday, we had this shepherd come up to us and say, you know, my sheep's missing, and can you bring it to the watering hole where I'm gonna be? And she said, well, the last place I saw it was at the cemetery, so can you go check it out? So me and my brother and another guy who decided to come along said, sure, why not? So we go to the cemetery, and there's the lamb, and there's this wolf like out in the distance, and we're like trying to get this lamb to go forward, but it's not going, and it's so loud. It's like it makes like this weird noise every 5 seconds, and you're just like wanted to shut up and carry it, because there's this wolf like out there like spying on you this whole time. And of course we're trying to bring it, us three, to the watering hole. So we're taking this lamb, and you know, this whole time, this wolf is just watching us, and I'm like prepared. I'm like, all right, come here, you little bastard. So it was like an intense experience the whole time. And when we got to the watering hole, we kind of got a, well, surprised butt sex, I would say. It was a whole attack of wolves on us, and we kind of got ambushed, and I got down. But anyway, the one complaint I will say that annoys me is that actually this is towards Underworld more than LARPing, and this is what a lot of people say, is that Underworld is targeted towards the more higher level players. So if you're beginning in Underworld and you're just starting out, you're going to get downed a lot, and it's kind of annoying because all the monsters are higher levels, and 2 hits you're down. But that can differentiate between any LARP. That's the one real complaint I've had. And yeah, so overall, after I did it, it just felt like freaking amazing, because you just get this sensibility that you're a part of something now, and that you feel, what you feel like? You feel like a superhero, and that you're like going to your alter ego now. You have the LARP you, and then you have the real you, and like both sides are just like so different to live in. And afterwards it felt like all a dream, to be honest, and it felt like I was there for like a month. But it was such a wonderful feeling, and I'm going back there this weekend, a long weekend, and it's going to be awesome, hopefully. So that's my impressions of the LARP. I hope you enjoyed. Try it for yourself, because I'm telling you right now that if you watch a video and you're like, a video cannot represent the experience in any way whatsoever. You have to experience for it yourself. So don't judge people who do it until you do it, and then you can judge people. But even then. So yeah, that's my video for today. I hope you enjoy it and try it. Yeah. Bye bye.